Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. This week is a very special one, not just because it has Trashy Hood, which it's had for quite some time now, but yesterday was the Be the Light Craft Fair, which I actually partook in for the first time. Had a great time out there. Everybody did great. Crazy Stacy and the gang out there. Marla and Jana did a fantastic job of getting everything coordinated, and it went over fantastically. It's a little slow because of the cold. No other reason than that. There was fantastic crafts there. Everybody did a fantastic job. It's just that it got really cold Friday and Saturday for the most part. If it was maybe no, if it was probably 10 degrees warmer, I think it would have been a super packed show. But there were still quite a handful of people that made it out there, and so it turned out to be really good. And I'm gonna have more for you in a moment. But let's go to Trash Hood. I only got out 2 days this week because I was getting ready for the craft fair. So let's take a quick look at that, and then we'll get back and talk more about the craft fair. So here is week 17, day 3. You notice this was a patch, the route I hadn't gone for at least about a week, but still I was surprised at the amount of stuff there. Cough drop bag, who throws that out? Cigarette box, there was quite a few cigarette butts there. Water bottles, a soda can, just a bunch of overall junk, a paintbrush, really weird stuff out there on day 3. And then day 4, we actually went out in the evening, and as you see there, this was along Hatch Road. A lot of water bottles and soda cups and beverage cans and just enormous amount of stuff. And then only about 8 cigarette butts, but that could be because it was almost pitch black by the time we finished. But still, surprised on the minimum of cigarette butts, and then surprised about all the other junk that was there. Okay, so there's the Trashy Hood. I only got it, like I said, 2 days this week, so I only got to do 2 routes. So I'm really going to try to hit it again next week, and I think it's going to be over the top amount of junk. I saw a couple while I was driving to and from the fair. I saw some trash on the road, so I know I'll be hitting the road hard next week to try to pick up all that. It keeps coming, and I'll keep going out there and getting it. So that's just how it is. Okay, so let's talk about the craft fair. So, Crazy Stacy and the team did a fantastic job of coordinating everything so that it would go off without a hitch, as far as I saw. I think everything went well, especially due to the fact that that cold front moved in very quickly on Friday, and so made it difficult for Saturday morning. Plus, it also rained on Friday. If you hadn't been in this area, it rained. It made it difficult for there to be any tagging as to where your spot was supposed to be, and then also because the Milburn Park just put in, I think that's Milburn Park, the park right here, just poured a cement sidewalk maybe a week or so ago, so it was still curing, which wasn't the problem. The problem was that all the ground that had been churned up in order for the construction crew to do their work, which is how things are done. It's just that it also then left it really muddy around that area, and we were going to be setting up booths around that sidewalk so that people could kind of walk in a square fashion around the park itself, through the pavilion and blah, blah, blah. So, turns out that wasn't the case because rain stayed in some spots, a huge puddle formed, and then also all the mud was very, mud. And so it made it harder for the team, but they did a great job of being able to then pivot and move everybody in and have everybody still kind of facing inwards, but moved in 12, 15, maybe 20 feet away from the muddy areas. So that turned out real nice. So there was I'm not sure how many vendors were that managed to make it after all. I know there were 60 spots that were filled, but I don't know what the final tally was due to any unforeseen circumstances, and then the rain and the cold and all that may have caused issues for some vendors to show up. We got there at almost 8 o'clock on the dot. Neighbors James and Zyda and I, Zyda otherwise known as Zyda P, the iced tea lady. I'm sorry, iced dye lady. And we'll see more about iced dye here in a minute. So we got there about 8 o'clock, set up. Took us about an hour to set up. And then I believe the 9 o'clock vendors started showing up so they could set up. So it was coordinated very well. I was able to park real close to where the spot was. We unloaded everything off the truck. I moved the truck to the vendor parking lot, and then we just went from there. So from basically 8 o'clock on, I was there at our booth, and we were there till 4 o'clock, and did we sold some stuff. Let's put it that way. As one of the lady vendors next to me, or one of the vendors who was a lady next to me, said, it's like a baseball game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it gets rained out. So thanks to her for that quote. I thought it was nice. I'll throw it in here. I got managed to walk around a little bit, and I'll show you some pictures that I had from the fair. But I think we did well. I actually sold 3 of my Ice Dye T-shirts, so I was very pleasantly surprised, and I'll take that money. Thank you very much. So, would I do it again? I think I would. Um, Hopefully, it will be in a much better weather situation when I do. I'm not a big fan of the cold. I have issues with circulation, so it causes some pain, but it works anyway, so it does very well, and I was able to keep going and stay the entire time. So it went really well. So let's see some shots and maybe some footage of the craft fair. Okay, so we started the fair out right by having everything out there in front. As you see, these are the great quilts by Neighbor Ida, and there's that one, the cosmic one with the horse in there, which we folded so that you could really see it well. These were some wreaths that I saw from the vendors that were under the pavilion. So they look pretty cool, and I thought it'd be neat to show a lot of the other vendors out there. So it turned out real nice. This was a lady selling some more Christmas joy stuff and uh, jerky. There's a bunch of jerky right there. It looked like it was pretty good. I didn't get a chance to get up close to it because I had to go back to the booth. Here's a lady also selling quilts and pillows and the like that. And in the background were some coffee mugs that were being sold that had been customized. As you see here, this is a gentleman. His booth was called Tripping with Dye, and this is a gentleman that was also doing ice dyeing. Now his technique was a little bit deeper as far as how he did it compared to the way Zyda P and I did it. But as you can tell, it looks like he's done this quite a bit. He had a very huge selection of shirts and hoodies and everything like that. It was very cool, very different designs than what Zada and I did. This young lady was selling beaded jewelry, and she said her grandparents worked in a glass factory back in West Texas, and you could see the big chunks of glass there. I thought that was very cool to show. This was some of the other wares that she had: wrist bracelets and little rings, little tiny rings, and stuff like that. They were really cool. I don't really wear a lot of jewelry, but someone might. There's some stones and rocks and crystals and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool to get a shot of this. In the background, you see that's El Cerrito Parkway. So it was very cool to see some of the unusual and unique gifts. This was Fluff Marshmallow Company, and they make custom marshmallows. So you could get like a package of like marshmallows you can drop in your hot cocoa or your coffee, and then they also had like coffee tops. So there you see just a very small sampling of the number of vendors that were out there. Unfortunately, I didn't get out as much as I could, or as I wanted to. So I just took that. We do have a couple of videos I think I'll show. I might use them for our moment of Zen for the fair itself, and then so that way we can incorporate. I can kill two birds with one stone, do a Zen and some more craft fair footage. So it was very unique. In fact, I think the two videos were taken at two different times throughout the fair, so you could see from my point of view, from where I was sitting and standing in my booth, you should be able to see some of the things that were going out there. So I wanted to give a shout out. You saw there at the end was Fluff Marshmallow Company. So these were the young lady and her twin sister. They do small batch handcrafted marshmallows, like I mentioned in the voiceover. And if you were looking for something like that, which I think is a great idea overall, but that it could be a great idea for the holidays to give people, especially if you do something like this, which is, see if I can get close enough so you can see it. So it is a mug topper, which is a new thing that they've been doing the past couple of years. You put that actually on top of your mug of Joe or your mug of hot cocoa, and it melts into the coffee, which is a pretty cool idea. And they also had, like I said, little packages. See if I can get the right angle so you can see that. There you go. I don't remember what flavor this is. Let me see if I can see it here. No, I can't. It's either too small or it's not on there. So anyway, very great. They are, as you can see. I'll show you the card here in a minute. The owner is John Dell. Excuse me if I get that wrong. John Dell Lafont Garcia. So here's the card, which if I get close enough, I think the camera's not going to pick it up well. Maybe there. And then, so those are QR codes for both Facebook and Instagram. So it's probably better if you just go to their um, Facebook site, which was Fluff Marshmallow Co. All one word, Fluff Marshmallow Co. So, and I talked to her a little bit about her getting the webcast podcast going for herself. So here's your chance to do it. Let's take a look at. Let's do a Zen moment with the videos I have from the fair, and then when we get back, I'll do talk about the wine tasting that we had last night as well. So here we go for our Zen moment. there you have it. The 2022 fall, winter, how I'm not sure how we would call it, Be the Light Craft Fair. So turned out spectacularly well, and I hope everybody did well, sold some stuff, and I will be looking forward to the next one for sure. So let's talk a little bit about what was done afterwards. So the breakdown went very quickly. Was able to get everything back into the truck. Again, logistics were fantastic. I was able to get back home and have everything thrown back in the garage or stuff put over in Zyda and James's house. And I was sitting on the couch by 4:30. So that worked out really nice. So I took a little bit of a respite, and then I was up and making some bacon wrapped dates because at 7 o'clock, pretty much everyone was here so that we could start our wine tasting. That's right, the second tasting in a row. Things are going well as far as that is concerned, and I will walk you through a little bit of what we drank and did, and then I'll talk about what the next one is. So first of all, everybody got there early, started showing up at like 6:45, which I love. It's fantastic. That's why I'm always ready to go beforehand. And brought out their submissions, brought out some food. So we had a cheese spread, we had the bacon wrapped dates, like I talked about. We had some meatballs, Zyda's fantastic meatballs with the fantastic sauce on there, just right. Everybody loves them. There's never any left, or there's only just two or three left by the end of the night, which is when I got to them. So thank you for that, Zyda. I made, what else did I make? I think that was all I made. We also had some other crackers and cheese out there, and so it turned out real nice. There was about 9 of us. We had 8 submissions, and so it was just the right amount for which was the theme, which was box of wine or canned wine. So we only had one canned. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. We had 2 canned entries. One like a cardboard box entry that was only about that big, and then we had 3 boxes of wine. So it went over real well. Everything was eaten and drunk. Well, it wasn't all drunk. There was plenty of wine left over this morning, and so it was really neat. And so let's take a look at the entries. Okay, so these were these were 8 submissions. I think we're missing one. Not sure where that one went. There was probably pouring it, which is why you don't see it. But La Vieille Femme, which is the old farm. I'm sure I butchered that French uh, uh, words. Black Girl Magic, bubbly red. The Stella Rosa, the pineapple. This is Black Box Cab Sav. This is the winning submission, Black Box Cab Sav. To the right of that is Double Dog Dare. And then as you see it from the other side, Double Dog Dare. And then this was Insane Monkey Theorem, Red Wine, Sway Rosé, which was the other can to the left of that, which was pretty, I hate to say it, but it was pretty horrible. And then Black Box Malbec, which was actually pretty good. I really like the black boxes, both types, and the Double Dog Dare. It turned out to be really good and a really fun night. Okay, so there you have it. Um, we got both the fair and the wine tasting in. Box of wine, can wine, I should say. So after, as I mentioned, the black box, the small like milk carton, juice carton box that you saw in the first picture of the from the evening was the winner, and that was neighbors James and Zyda. Congrats to you two for pulling off a good win on that one. Really was a good wine. And then we all gathered around and decided that next month's theme is Christmas cocktails. So we will be doing Christmas cocktails sometime in the probably the second, maybe well, probably the second weekend in December, since the first weekend a lot of people were busy, and the third and fourth weekend is actually very, very close to Christmas. So we need to not make it during that time. So it went over fantastic. Like I said, you see that we were using the Dixie cups. We weren't getting fancy with the glasses because we were doing a lot of just sampling first. You want to do sampling first before it. So for those of you who have not seen any of my tastings before, welcome to Javier in the Air. Fantastic show about everything and spirits. So, and spirits, I mean as spirits that you partake, not ooh. So, not to be confused by that. So, anyway, we picked Christmas cocktails, so I think that's going to be a good one. We'll break out some of the other ones. In the past, neighbor James and Zyda have won that one too, with their fantastic pineapple upside down cocktail. Really super sweet, but also super fantastic. Everybody loved it. Went over like a house of fire. So we'll be looking forward to that. I have still a couple weeks before we do that, so I'll be continuing to do Trashy Hood. I've been getting some really good reviews, good feedback. I shouldn't say reviews. Been getting really good feedback from the neighborhood. I've been doing it for 17 weeks now, so it's multi-purpose. One, I'm cleaning up trash as I go along, which I always feel better to drive down the streets and not see any trash. To me, it's a reflection of the neighborhood that we are trying to keep it healthy and thriving, and not have it all decadent and just trashy, and then that just breeds insects and animals, and it just makes the neighborhood suck. So I do it for that reason. And if anybody else does it, good, go for it. I'm not saying that you have to do it. I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying I do it. And the second part, it's keeping me accountable as far as walking goes. Ever since I started actually going back to my doctor on a regular basis, I have needed to not only keep the weight training going as well, but I needed to get out and get more cardio. I still do rowing, but it's just not quite the same, and it doesn't impact my body as much as walking does. So I get out there, I walk anywhere from 1.5 to 2 miles a night. Or during the day or early morning, depending on when I get out there. I don't have a set schedule. I just go when I can. The only set schedule really is Saturday mornings when my friends James and Julia and I go from here to Mojo Coffee. Other than that, it's just willy-nilly whenever I can get out. I try to walk between 40 minutes to an hour. So that gives me about 2 hours, 2 miles plus sometimes, plus usually a huge bag of trash goodies. So that works out really nice. So there's other reasons as well, but those are the main two that I try to get out and walk and pick up trash while I do that. So thanks to everybody on nextdoor.com who have been positive and hey, cheering me on, sort of. It feels good to know that there's other people out there that either help out or they raising their children to understand that littering is just nobody wins on that, and so good for them and thanks for that. So if you're interested in getting on my show, reach out to me however you can get a hold of me, and I'll get you on the show. Remember, no politics or religion. There's enough podcasts and shows for all that. I don't need to be a part of that. So everything else is game. If you really have an obsession or a collection or a passion about something and you'd like to share it on the show, I'd love to have you on and talk about your passion. If you would like to be a co-host, I'm always looking to have somebody do a co-hosting spot for an episode or two or more, depending on how well it goes, and if they want to do more. So let me know if you're interested in doing that. We can even do it over Zoom and do the recorded parts in advance. If you are a mom and pop business and you have a business locally or not locally, and you'd like to put some hype out there, everything. Everything, all publicity is good publicity. So we'll start with that. So we can go ahead and do that as well. So if you feel there's anything else you'd like to come on the show about, barring those two, just reach out to me and I'll see what I can do. I think it will be fun for you, and it's definitely fun for me. I have a kick out of it. I actually got some people who recognize me at the craft fair, which I love because I do post on the Be the Light Craft Fair site, not just to try to get people to watch my show, but also because I post about the craft fair. And I post in a couple of other places as well, and then I post on Nextdoor also. So I think I haven't tried to reach out any further. I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing this for money at this point. So I only put in as little, a little bit of time here and there to do the show. If it were something that would to really take off and have a lot more viewers and viewership and membership went up on my YouTube channel, Javier in the Air, then I would certainly look into that, into seeing what I could do to increase all that. But right now, it's just having fun. So we're coming into the holiday season. I will definitely have a special episode for Thanksgiving, a special episode for Christmas. I think I will do my Santa assistant walk as a assistance walk, like I've done the past couple of years. That should be fun, and I'll make that video for the podcast as well. If there's any topics that you'd like to see and you don't necessarily want to get on the show, but you'd like to hear more about them, let me know as well, and I can certainly do research and then have a bit in the beginning of the show to talk about it. If there's a particular spirit that you have not seen me review or talk about, and you'd like to see me get it on here, by all means, shoot me a message on that, and I can do that as well. So I hope you got out this weekend, even though it was super cold. Yesterday, I hope you made it to the craft fair, but it was sunny. So if you stood in the sun, it was actually better than expected. And so I hope you got out there and enjoyed it. Today is another great day as well. It's a beautiful looking day out there. Unfortunately, the high right now is 54, and I think that's the high for the day. So that's probably not going to be a good thing. And so we'll take a look at that next week and see. It's supposed to be rainy and cold most of this week. I'll see if it ever increases in temperature, and we'll have that. I will be working from the office this week, so I might be able to see some of the city and how it looks during the week as well, as we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving. So everybody, I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good week, and I hope that you will be having a good week coming up. If you're on vacation, enjoy. If you're at work, so sorry, but it's has to be done. So I will talk and see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.